This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Netflix. Frank Bailey was a guy who worked for Sarah Palin since 2005. When she started running for governor, he showed up and he eventually became her director of boards and commissions when she was governor. And unofficially, the Washington Post says he was her gopher and protector, one of her top aides, a member of the inner circle. Well, he has written this book called Blind Allegiance because he says he has seen the error of his ways, that he kept deluding himself all those years working for Sarah Palin, like, I'm sure eventually we'll get to do the right thing, the things that she talks about on the campaign trail, the reasons that I started working for her. But all those years, they never did. Instead, they were vindictive. They were attacking other politicians in crazy ways. And now he says, look, I got to make amends. I got to tell you what's going on. One of the reasons I have to tell you that is that, quote, I am convinced, Bailey writes in his book, that her priorities and personality are not only ill-suited to head a political party or occupy national office, but would lead to a disaster of, well, biblical proportions. Damn. Okay, that's a tell-all book. And so now, but the details are much worse because that could be his opinion, right? Now, having worked for her at such a top level, it's an opinion that might be worthwhile. By the way, the book is not just based on his opinions and his recollection. He has 50,000 emails. So that is why it's pretty trustworthy. They're direct emails sent by Sarah Palin. So now let's go to the details. This is the part that really disgusted me, actually. It was using her kids for political tricks. A neighbor of hers had complained about excessive tourist traffic around the governor's mansion. She didn't like that. So her strategy was, she sent Piper, her young daughter, out to do a lemonade stand, and then pretended that the neighbor was complaining about the lemonade stand, when that is not what the neighbor was complaining about at all in the beginning. It had nothing to do with it. Here's the guy who was there when they hatched the plot, okay? Bailey saying that's what, and then she turned around and went to the conservative blogs and said, can you believe this neighbor attacking my kids? Now, how many times have you seen her pull that trick? I can't believe they're attacking my kids. It turns out it's because she used them as political human shields. She put Piper out there to do this. By the way, the conservative blogs then attacked the neighbor as, quote, sick, unhinged, and drug addicted. Okay? That's how they go to get somebody. That's how Sarah Palin tries to destroy her enemies. And this was just a neighbor who complained. This wasn't even a political enemy. She's unbelievable. Now, of course, there was a long story about Troopergate. That's where a family member they thought had been wronged by a trooper and they tried to get him fired even though it was illegal. They tried over and over. A lot of you have heard about that story. Let me just give you one quote from there. Bailey says, this saga, unfortunately, epitomized the worst of Sarah's dysfunctional psyche and administration, including the compulsion to attack enemies, deny truth, play victim, and employ outright deception. Now, along the lines of those deceptions, she would do goofy things, like she would have her staff write op-eds to the newspaper or letters to the editor and sign it with fake names or constituent names to make it seem like, oh, we love Sarah Palin, signed Jim Jablowski from Alaska, right? She had them wasting their valuable time doing nonsense like this to try to make it appear that she was really popular. By the way, did she write her own op-eds? Oh, of course not. In fact, Bailey says that she barely even checked the op-eds before they went in the paper. She'd be like, yeah, because she was wildly disinterested in the policy. Didn't give a damn about the policy. Yeah, I'm sure you wrote something good. Put it in the paper, okay? Now, that has Sarah Palin's byline at least, okay? Now, the other thing she did, sometimes there would be TV polls trying to gauge whether some of her policies were favorable or unfavorable approval ratings. She would have her staff call nonstop to those goofy TV polls to try to skew them. How incredibly petty and pathetic is that? Now, the last part I think is, again, goes to one of the worst parts because it shows her disdain for her own supporters. She had this group of elderly supporters who campaigned for her. They volunteered 10 hours a week to campaign for her. One of them was a guy, an 86-year-old veteran, and her staff tried to convince him. He was actually the best campaigner. They said, hey, why don't you go stop by his house and thank him? He's done such great work for us. And she said she couldn't be bothered. She never went. Okay, you think that, all right, well, There's no quote attached to that one. You just say, okay, you see the emails, etc. You see how she treated that guy. But was it out of the ordinary? Hell no. Here's the part with the quote that I'm blown away by. One of those elderly guys gives her his fedora, which he, to him meant a lot. It was his lucky fedora. He's an older gentleman, and he wants to give it to her because he really cares about her. He thinks that she's doing the right thing, right? Bailey writes, quote, rather than being touched by the gesture, Sarah quickly tossed the beloved hat in the trash, explaining to me that it was icky. She's a revolting person. I mean, look, I'm revolted by how she treats conservatives. Not liberals, not progressives, not moderates. Those are people who genuinely believed. They believed that you were ideologically conservative, that you were looking out for them. And you, in this case, you almost literally toss them in the trash. Whatever valuable thing they gave you, toss it in the trash and use it for your own popularity, for your own power and your own fortune. And of course, Bailey says she quit to make more money and never really had an inclination to govern Alaska anyway. Didn't do much of it before the presidential race. And after the presidential race, she said, quote, pray that we win, or right before the race was over, pray that we win so we can all get out of that place, referring to Alaska. Now, after the election, she did a reality show called Sarah Palin's Alaska, as if she loves the place. This woman is grossly deceptive and really sickening, whether you're ideologically liberal, moderate, or conservative. Get a load of Netflix. They deliver the movie to your house, no late charges, free shipping.
You can watch thousands of movies or TV shows straight on your PC or on your television through a gaming console.
Netflix.com/TYT. Free trial membership. You get Netflix all over you.